LAM Mozambique Airlines, S.A.or Linhas Aéreas de Moçambique, Limited, operating as LAM Mozambique Airlines, is the flag carrier of Mozambique. The airline was established by the Portuguese colonial government of Mozambique in August 1936 as a charter carrier named Direcção de Exploração, Transportes Aéreos, and was renamed in 1980 following reorganization. LAM Mozambique Airlines is based in Maputo, and has its hub at Maputo International Airport. It operates scheduled services in southern Africa. The company is a member of the International Air Transport Association, and of the African Airlines Association since 1976. LAM Mozambique Airlines is on the list of airlines banned in the EU since April 2011. History. Early years. The airline was established on 26 August 1936 as DITA, Direcção de Exploração de Transportes Aéreos, as a division of the Department of Railways, Harbours and Airways of the Portuguese colonial government of Mozambique. Charter flights were operated for a short period of time, until a regular ML service commenced on the 22nd of December 1937 using a Dragonfly, a Hornet and two Rapides. Shortly afterwards, these services started carrying passengers, most of them government officials, flown with Rapides. The Lorenzo Marques Germanston route was one of the company's mainstays in the early years. It was operated on a twice-weekly basis, and connected with Imperial Airways services to London. In April 1938, the 8-hour-long domestic Lorenzo Marques in Hambane-Biraqueliman coastal route was opened. DITA passengers that were flown along the Mozambican coast could also connect with Imperial services at Lorenzo Marques. At the time, Imperial Airways ran a service between Cape Town and Cairo that called at Lorenzo Marques. Early in 1938, DITA had signed a contract with Imperial for the provision of such feeder services. During the spring, another Hornet was incorporated into the fleet. Also in 1938, the airline acquired 3 Junkers Ju-52s and 2 more Rapides. The coastal service was extended farther north in October, reaching Port Emilia. At April 1939, 1 Dragonfly, 1 Hornet, 3 Junkers Ju-52s and 6 Rapides were part of the fleet. Most of the operations came to a halt following the outbreak of World War II. A Beira-Salisbury route was launched in February 1947, with scheduled services to Durban and Madagascar also starting by the end of that year. By March 1952, the carrier was operating a 2,000-mile-long route network that included domestic services as well as international ones to Durban, Johannesburg and Salisbury, served with a fleet of 6 Doves, 5 Rapides, 3 Douglas DC-3s, 2 Lockheed Lodestars, a Lockheed L-14 and a Junkers Ju-52. A new Moçambique Nampula Vila Cabral run that called at 3 more intermediate stops was opened in 1954. The last leg of this service was temporarily suspended when Vila Cabral was excluded from the airline's list of destinations, but flights to the city were later reinstated after Vila Cabral got linked with Beira via Vila Peritet and Vila Coutinho. At March 1955, the carrier's fleet included 3 DC-3s, 6 Doves, 1 Dragonfly, 4 Dragon Rapides, 2 Junkers Ju-52, 3s, 1 Lockheed 14H, 2 Lodestars and 2 Hornemoths. The airline was one of the latest worldwide to operate the Junkers Ju-52s on scheduled services. 2 of these aircraft were still part of the aircraft park in April 1960, along with 3 DC-3s, 4 Doves, 3 Lodestars and 4 Rapides that operated a domestic network plus international services to Durban, Johannesburg and Salisbury. DITA started a fleet modernization commissioned in the early 1960s, when 3 Fokker F-27-200s ordered in June 1961, making the airline the 64th customer for the type, had already been handed over to the company by August 1962. The first of them was named Lourenço Marques after the capital city of Portuguese, East Africa. Dieter and Air Malawi inaugurated the Beira Blantyre service in 1964. It was operated in a pool agreement between the two carriers. In 1965, Nova Friso was added to the route network. In November that year, a service linking Beira with Lourenço Marques was launched. In March 1966, Dieter and Swazi Air commenced flying the Lourenço Marques Manzini run on a joint basis. 2 Boeing 737-200s were ordered in 1968, both to complement the 3 F-27s, 6 DC-3s, 1 Dove, and 1 Beaver already in the fleet, and to support the company's regional expansion, that had grown up to 5 destinations regionally served with the addition of Blantyre and Manzini to the network. The first of these machines entered the fleet in 1969. The airline would order 2 more Boeing 737-200s in the forthcoming years, taking possession of the 4th one in 1973. Mozambique gained its independence from Portugal in 1975. Intercontinental services started in 1976 serving the Lourenço Marques Beira-Accra-Lisbon route, at first with a Boeing 707-320, and then with a Boeing 707-320C leased from Tempere International Airlines. In 1979, a Douglas DC-8 was ordered. Renaming Dieter was Mozambique's flag carrier until 1980. Following allegations of corruption, the airline was restructured and renamed LAM, Linhas, Aéreas de Moçambique early that year. 4 more Boeing 737-200s were ordered in 1981. The Douglas DC-8-62 that had been ordered at the end of the Dieter era arrived in 1982. In 1983, a Douglas DC-10-30 was ordered. Also in 1983, a Maputo Manzini Maseru service that was flown using F-27 equipment was launched in cooperation with Lesotho Airways. The DC-10-30 joined the fleet in 1984, and new services to East Berlin, Copenhagen and Paris were started. At March 1985, the carrier had 1,927 employees. At this time, the DC-10-30 and 3 Boeing 737-200s worked on a route network radiating from Maputo that served Beira, Berlin, Schönefeld, Dar es Salaam, Harare, Johannesburg, Lisbon, Lusaka, Manzini, Maseru, Nampula, Paris, Pemba, Sofia and Quelimane. TACV Cabo Verde Airlines leased the DC-10 in the weekends during 1985. The first Boeing 737-300 entered the fleet in 1991. By April that year, employment was 1,948, and the fleet consisted of 2 Boeing 737-200s, 1 Boeing 767-200 and 4 CATA 212-200s. The company had returned the 737-300 to the lessor in 1995 because of its inability to afford the leasing costs of the aircraft, and a Boeing 767-200 would follow the same fate late that year. An ex-Royal Swazi Fokker 100 was leased in October 1996. On the 23rd of December 1998, LAM was transformed into a limited company, adopting the denomination of LAM Mozambique Airlines by a Decree No. 69/98. A limited company incorporated by statute in Mozambique was formed in late 1999. EU ban. Like all airlines with an AOC issued in Mozambique, the carrier is banned from operating into the European Union. The ban dates back to April 2011. At the time, the company claimed the Mozambican Civil Aviation Institute was responsible for the actions taken by the European Commission against all Mozambican carriers, and argued that it was an airline with an excellent safety record. Prior to Euro-Atlantic Airways launching Boeing 767-300 operations to Lisbon on LAM's behalf in April 2011, the Lisbon-Maputo-Lisbon run was operated by TAP Portugal on Codeshare agreement with LAM. The Maputo-Lisbon-Maputo route, the very same that was launched in November 2011, was announced to be discontinued as from late November that year, ahead of the constitution of a new autonomous division aimed at operating intercontinental routes. As of June 2013, Lisbon was served with Airbus A340 aircraft. As of December 2014, the list of airlines banned in the EU still includes LAM, corporate affairs, ownership and subsidiaries. As of August 2014, the state holds 91% of the shares and the employees hold the balance. The carrier employs a staff of 695. The company Moçambique Expresso, set up in September 1995, is 100% owned by LAM. Business Trends annual reports for the airline do not appear to be published. In the absence of these, the main sources for trends are industry and press reports as shown below. Key people. As of July 2014, Ayakumba Ali Auba held the CEO position and chairmanship was held by Sylvestre Sekine. Both were appointed that month. Auba succeeded Marlene Manave. Destinations. Codeshare agreements. As of May 2014, the following routes are code-shared ones, actually operated by the carriers shown: Ethiopian Airlines, Addis Ababa to, from Maputo; EWA Air, Kenya Airways, Nairobi to, from Nampula. Fleet. Current. The newest aircraft on LAM's fleet is the Embraer 190, the first of which the airline took possession of in August 2009. The carrier received the second aircraft of the type a month later. LAM Mozambique Airlines took delivery of a Boeing 737-500 on lease from GECAS in November 2012. 3 Embraer 190s were in operation until November 2013, when one of them crashed in Namibia. In early December, a Boeing 737 was leased to fill the capacity shortage created by the crashed airframe, an order that had been signed in November 2013 for 3 Boeing 737-700s valued at $228 million, was informed in February 2014. As of December 2014, the LAM Mozambique Airlines fleet consists of the following aircraft. Retired. The airline previously operated the following aircraft. Accidents and incidents. As of the 29th of November 2013, Aviation Safety Network records 7 hull loss events for the airline. 3 of these events occurred in the data era, while the other 4 correspond to LAM. As of November 2013, there has been 1 fatal accident for LAM proper. Following is a list of these events. Bibliography. Guthrie, Bernard. Encyclopedia of African Airlines. Jefferson, North Carolina, 28640, MC Farland and Amp Company, Inc., ISBN 0-78640495-7.